check. It should be good. Welcome to the Sashiko Live Streaming. I think the audio is okay. I think the audio is okay. Just, yeah, should be okay. Okay, I think it's good. Let me just... Alright, welcome to the Sashiko Live Streaming. This is Atsushi. Thank you so much for coming. This is the live streaming where I talk about Sashiko while doing Sashiko stitching. I believe the audio is okay. If you hear any echoes, please let me know. I just don't think it's happening right now. Yeah, should be okay. Okay. All right, a few announcements. There is the in-person Sashiko workshop planned for 2026. And the details are updated on the website. And it's sashikostory.com. And there's a blog link on the description area. So if you could take a look at it. I will keep updating as I finalize this in-person workshop information there. I do not teach often throughout the year. I mean, reasonably, fairly often, but not like every month. So if you could catch one of those opportunities to learn Sashiko from me, please consider that. And we will go to Japan in 2 months, less than 2 months. And there's a description about the Sashiko Japan retreat. I do not think I can offer that in 2026, but I believe that I am trying my best to offer that in 2027. So if you could take a look at it, that'd be great too. Okay, good evening. Thank you so much for coming. Please let me know if the audio is kind of weird. I think it's okay, but... Alright, let's start stitching. Oh yay. It has been a wild week. Oh, thank you, Ty, for checking it. I will appreciate that. Thank you. It has been... Oh, I keep saying that it has been wild week ever. Like almost forever, but... It is. It has been a wild week. And I apologize for the previous week. I'm sorry for the last week that I was not feeling well around this time. And I kind of decided to go to bed earlier. 9 o'clock p.m. is sometimes it can be a little bit of hiccup for me to get ready for the live streaming. But yeah, my goal is to keep offering the live streaming every Thursday night. So it's my challenge. It's my biggest, actually, I don't want to say biggest, but it's quite big challenge for me to keep offering it. But I like to make it happen. Before that, actually, just announcement about the live streaming. I will not be able to offer the live streaming coming next 2 weeks. So not next week and not after that week too. So I will come back from the week of October 13th. So the first 2 weeks of October, I won't be able to offer the live streaming. So I will not probably update it on the YouTube. I will probably announce it on the Instagram, but I will not be able to update it on the YouTube. So if you don't see any live streaming scheduled, that means that I will be out of the office or my house for 2 weeks. I wish I should be able to announce why I will be out of the office soon, sometimes next week. But that's the 2 weeks that I will not be able to come to the online. Well, I have been talking about what Sashiko really is. And I will keep talking about what Sashiko really is. And I think that it's kind of one of my milestone to share what Sashiko really is in a world where anybody can teach or anybody can pretend that they know what Sashiko is about. It has been like 8 or 7 years, right? Wow, 8 years. 8 years of doing the exactly same thing and saying exactly the same thing. That's kind of crazy, but that's what Sashiko is. We don't change much. It is okay to see the change, but that change has to be somewhat mindful and also respectful for that. And I don't see the change right now as mindful. It's more like based on the trend. So I want to make it slow. I want to make the change slow, and I would like to make the change more mindful. I want to make sure to fully share what we are changing and what we are not changing. That is a very troublesome process because it's not efficient. It does not give us the answer right away, but I think that's the only one way to kind of preserve this type of culture. Especially everything becomes new in the matter of like blinking. So like Sashiko has dragged me to everywhere. It's like a curse. It follows me no matter where I go. At the same time, I feel that I'm kind of dancing with the Sashiko too, swaying with Sashiko too. So if that's my life, I think I gotta dance. I gotta swing with the Sashiko we practice. And I want to join that swing. And that swing is not gonna be that different overnight. It's kind of like scary to see that, when I was in the college, that was kind of the beginning of the engineer being focused, like getting a spotlight. I think Facebook was created when I was in the college, and those who had an email address with ending .edu could get the first invitation to join the Facebook. And back then already, if the student had a degree with computer science, it was relatively easier for them to get a job. And that kind of continued for a while. If they can do the programming, if they can do the those jobs, they had a lot of job opportunities. Engineers had a good option to choose from. But like this year, I've heard that some of the like a new graduate of the computer science are having difficult time to get a job at. So the myth, or not even the myth, the fact, the truth that getting the computer science CS degree would have promised their future has now become a myth or almost fake information. So we are very much in the environment that things change overnight. It happens to many things. It can be for the immigration status. It can happen like at this moment. Change can happen to anything, and that change can be very quick. So, in the world where changes are so happening quickly and drastically, I would like to keep something not changed that fast. It can be changed, but not that fast without involving the people who are a part of it. And I think that's what Sashiko is all about. It's not about renovations or make it something more fancier. It's about, I don't want to say slow because I don't focus on slowness, but it ends up with slowing. And if that slowing is the key of Sashiko, then changing in this much speed is not really. There's a discrepancy already there, and they're kind of contradicting already for those who enjoy Sashiko in the trend of very fast change are already kind of contradicting. So I hope that I can throw some of the questions to the world where they think that they know about Sashiko. But I cannot believe that Sashiko became so famous. Earlier you mentioned that you want to choose can be changed and what can't. What are those things to you? Ooh, that's a good question. Earlier I mentioned that I want to choose what can change and what can't. Well, I hope, what I don't want to change is that Sashiko is for everybody. Sashiko's key is the sense or character of the ordinary stitching, and if that ordinary is gone, then that's not Sashiko any longer, even if it looks like Sashiko. And that ordinary, or anybody can do that, the sense of anybody can do that can be kind of vague, right? So when we focus on that, what is the actual deep inside of the ordinary is the, I think authority is the key for that. I don't want to make any authorities. I don't want to change that Sashiko has the authority. Because when we have authority, that authority can define the answer. And that answer could be kind of one's answer, but not everybody's answer, which means that it can be offline of somebody's ordinary. And if the authority decided to say that this is something only one group of people can do, then that's not everybody's ordinary. So that is something I really do not want to change. It is the stitchery for the ordinary, it's stitchery for everybody, so anybody can do it. At the same time, another factor is that I don't want it to change it, that this is, I think it's Japanese. It's Japanese who used this word first. I cannot prove that, but I think that we can agree that this Sashiko was and is a Japanese word. And because it's a Japanese word, there are a lot of stories behind it. Those stories can make Sashiko extraordinarily unique to some people. But for Japanese, it's ordinary, and I don't want the fact that Sashiko is Japanese to be different too. In order to do that, we have to be mindful about history too. Instead of following those quick answers, listening to other people's Sashiko is very important too. Everything else, I think anything else can be changed. I mean, more or less that I might not like it, but those two, the fact that it's Japanese and the fact that it's ordinary, well, they're kind of correlating each other, but those two are the things I do not want to change. Like design, patterns, those are not something I particularly worry about. As long as the people who stitch carry the stories and spirit behind it, then design and, those are more like trendy things. It changes over time, and even before we experience that change in Sashiko too. So I'm not talking about the outcome, like design or patterns, more like the approach or, the mindfulness to that. I don't know how difficult it is. It can be quite difficult to keep that, because that's what the most important thing. That's what the most challenging thing to do. To be slow. When we look for the answer, we want to be quick, and that's what we are trained, what our brains are customized for. But when we can customize our brain again to be okay with slowness, then it's probably more likely to have the Sashiko in the original form. Well, also, I do not want to change the kind of environment or privilege I have already, like suppliers and also suppliers. I do not want to have the very fortunate and privileged condition that I have. I cannot think of my Sashiko without this thread, and possibly without this fabric and thread, needle and thimble. So I do not want them to be different. I don't want to change it. So I would like to keep sharing those stories so that those thread, needle, thimble, fabric can be the same. It's not up to us, because it's a decision that their manufacturers will make. After all, they have to make the decision to either continue or not. But I don't want the money or business to be the reason of them shutting down the business. So I would like to keep ordering, it's really easy to kind of end it, I guess, in this world, because they are getting older and they may be thinking to shut down their business, and some people actually did shut down the business already. So if I stopped introducing them, then the bigger manufacturers, bigger production will take over that, and we will have like a limited, smaller amount of choices. And the Sashiko will adapt. It's just hand stitching, so it will adapt its form to the new availability. But because I am quite spoiled for the availability we have right now, and those are very much small manufacturers making very small amount of supplies, I do not want to change that. So I added another thing that I don't want to change. It's the third one. So if I keep thinking, probably there are a lot more. But I am expecting the change. Well, I have to keep adding. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep adding, but I would like to have the Japaneseness in Sashiko too. The politeness, kind of passive aggressiveness in Japanese culture. What else? It's kind of indirect. It can be kind of nasty at some point. It doesn't have to be always positive, but those kind of Japaneseness are important part of Sashiko. So those are things I do not want to change. But yeah, the things I'm doing right now, this Sashiko is not traditional already. So this is quite the change from the view of somebody who stitched Sashiko a long time ago. This is not really. It's already the version that it's changed. But this change, I am mindfully trying to have the change. So as long as the change is mindful, and as long as they know what they are changing to and from, I think I'm okay with that. I hope I'm answering the question. Thank you. It's a really deep topic, so I can keep on going. And the more I think about it, the more I don't want to change. Yeah, that's... I just don't like the discussion that Sashiko is just hand stitching, so we can use any materials, any thread, any needle, any thimble. The statement itself is true. Sashiko is very much just stitching, so they can of course use any thread, any thimble. There's no law, there's no restriction, there's no regulation, there's no code. So nothing will happen even if they use whatever thread they have, whatever fabric they have. But by them spreading information like they can use whatever they want, then the small business in Japan that are being part of this Sashiko may be at the risk of their sustainability. That's not okay. So the true statement, but not mindful. You definitely have been. Thank you. I'm mumbling right now. My brain is not so sharp, so I might be saying something, stupid, but once again, I keep saying that here all the time, but people who are here listening to this live streaming are not the people who I have to deliver the message. So you're listening to this, which means that you are already mindful enough to change Sashiko the way you want to. You're trying to learn the origin, you're trying to learn the story behind it. So, technically speaking, if you decided to change Sashiko, in a big picture, I probably wouldn't mind. Of course, I want to see what you're doing, but at the same time, most likely I will enjoy it. But those who don't even care what the Sashiko artisans from the original culture are saying, and you may be surprised how many those are out there. Those are the people who I want to deliver the message, but they don't have time for that because they're so busy with their purpose to get to their goal, to reach the norm, or to reach the goal. They use Sashiko as a vehicle to reach there. And they're so busy. And when the goal is non-Sashiko goal, such as money, fame, popularities, numbers, then they don't have to really care about the change, because they're not responsible for this. If they decide when they realize that the Sashiko will not change the vehicle to drive with. So one day Sashiko will be kind of left alone. Sashiko will be, how can I put this? Sashiko is not gonna be as popular as today. I believe. I might be wrong. But until that, many people will join and then they will try to change it to the convenient way that they would like to use or ride until they need another vehicle to reach to their goals. But it may be too late to kind of start focusing on what it used to be. It is actually too late already. At this moment, at this age, at this 2025 September, I feel that it's kind of too late. But at the same time, it's not a reason to completely stop swinging with Sashiko saying that that might not be it. But then once again, you're not the one who I want to deliver the message to. It's so difficult. Life is quite difficult. If somebody else comes and then if they start saying like you have to eat this and you have to open your mouth, probably you won't open your mouth. Unless you're very much interested in what you're trying to eat. I kind of feel like I'm doing the same thing too. I'm not asking anybody to open their mouth, but unless they like to learn what it is, then what I do is very much meaningless to them. For some people, I hope it's meaningful, but for those who does not want to even look at it, although it may be better for them to swallow it once or twice, but well, that's the difficulty of this. I hope it's changing little by little, and I hope that it's gonna come soon. Not as soon. It can be slowly, and I said that one day those people who are using Sashiko as a vehicle will change the vehicle to something else to get their goal, right? What I would like to do is that I would like to have the vehicles, I would like to keep the car garage who can repair those old vehicle when they do not need it anymore. It's like a like a manual stick car. It's not in need. So not many car manufacturer make that manual stick car. And when all the car manufacturer decided to not to make any car with manual shift, or let's say they decided to shift everything to the electric car, then there is no concept of the transmission, and there will not be manuals like a stick. Then the people who can repair those transmission will eventually lose their business because they are no longer needed in the new world. And that's probably what's happening right now to many industries. What we do is based on what the market want. Demand and supply curve are always important to see it. So Sashiko may be facing to the same idea of being the transmission company, repair company. But my point is that though, we would like to have the option to drive the manual car with the gasoline if we want to, when we want to. And we would like to have those professionals who can build the transmission from the scratch just in case we want to do it again. Those are the wisdom. Those are we call it wisdom. Those are the accumulation of those knowledge and experience. And it's really sad to lose that, because it's almost impossible to rebuild. not only the transmission, but also the wisdom itself. So I think that's what I am trying to do right now. Okay. Almost done. I think I can finish today here, this much triangle. Then I will complete this project. I will bring it back to Japan for November. This will be part of the exhibition we do. Exciting. Kind of. I don't know if I'm excited or not, because what I did is not really the traditional way to do that. So what I submit might be kind of a little bit weird, strange. Well, let's see. Let's see how it's gonna turn out. I don't think it's gonna take some time to do this much, so maybe 10 more minutes, maybe 15 more minutes. What a life with Sashiko. I was born with it, and it's like a curse, so it's like it's chasing. No matter where I go, it kind of chases me. And you know, I like it now, so it end up with liking it, but at the same time, it has been chasing, and it will be chasing me too. So I am always with Sashiko, and I was always with Sashiko. When I teach, I say that I am always here, and I'm always here stitching, and I'm gonna be always here doing the same thing about Sashiko. The reason I can say that for sure is that because that's what I've been doing the last 40 years. I don't see myself being different in the next 20 years or so. If I start doing crochet in front of the camera, that's funny. That's kind of one thing to look forward, but I don't see myself doing that. I'll be doing exactly the same thing, and that's kind of it used to be a curse, but I consider it as the fate. So it is healthier. It's much healthier to change the hobby or change what needlework itself too. After all, for many people, this is the handcraft. So doing one type of handcraft for years, decades, can be quite unhealthy at some point. I'm not judging. It's okay to keep doing it, but I think it's not that healthy. It's very natural to kind of change the preference every once in a while. But because I consider it as the fate or curse or even identity, I will be doing the same thing over and over. Same place, maybe same pattern too, same project too. We don't know that, but I know for sure that I'll be doing exactly the same thing. So that I don't want to change too, probably. Following the previous talk, I don't want to change that I will be stitching in front of the camera or sharing the Sashiko stories while stitching. So I don't want to stop stitching too. That's another thing I don't want to change too. Yeah, I can't finish this much. Do you have any stories about how Sashiko changed when it no longer became necessary? Did the vehicle change then too? Yes, it changed a lot. About 1960s, when Sashiko was in most part of Japan, in many part of Japan, the Sashiko was no longer necessary. Even before World War II, a lot of places had enough wealth to not to practice Sashiko. So I would say before 19,000, no, 19,000 is like before 1900, I think many people who had to stitch kind of graduated from the condition with needing to stitch. And after World War II, while we experienced a lot of big economic growth, and the economic growth brought the wealth, and they had a luxury to look back what Sashiko was like. So back then, already, they did not have to stitch for the necessity, which is quite far from the original purpose of Sashiko. But at the same time, they decided to change it to the more like handcrafting hobby, or even business for that matter. Business to offer something to do for those who can stitch. Back then, it's like 50, 60 years ago, we did not have internet, we did not have those networks, so it was quite important for the local place to have something to do over the winter. Industry was very important to have for those physically far from the big area, which is the very similar to Sashiko. But they decided to change that, and that's a big change from the stitching out of necessity to the business or culture or practice. And my family is one of those who changed that, and I believe that they were very mindful. Well, they kept saying that Sashiko was out of necessity, so they are mindful about the change. They wanted to make money out of those things they were practiced for the necessity. So I'm not saying making money is a bad thing. I'm just saying that not acknowledging the change is a bad thing. And those I will keep sharing those stories, and there are a lot of changes happened even in the last 5 or 10 years. I don't know if those changes are mindful or not, because that's the reason I'm here too. If those changes are very much mindful, I probably wouldn't be doing this, what I'm doing right now. So, well, I said probably not, but it's not. That's probably a better way to say that. Okay. I did not take that long time too. Once again, it's not more than 1 hour, so I apologize that I will come back this 3rd week of October to restart this live streaming. A change from physical survival to emotional survival in a way, perhaps. Yeah, it was, and it is. It is changing like that too, even right now. It's just the change itself can be very much pushed toward the side that toward somebody's convenient, not what it is. So this is one piece, almost done. It's not almost, it's done. I just have to put the fabric in the water to complete it. Alright, thank you so much for coming to the Sashiko live streaming. I will see you in the 3rd week of October. I will keep updating the information on Instagram, so I will see you there too. Thank you for coming. Have a good night. Bye bye.